Hey y'all, welcome to the Fillin Station. So in this video, we are making creative centerpieces out of flowers, y'all, using some simple things. I'm super excited. All right, y'all, so for this project, we are cleaning off, we're actually making table centerpieces. So I'm gonna go ahead and just wipe this off. This is my wine glass. I use this for multiple uses, so I will not be gluing anything down. So whatever you're using, make sure that it is something that, you know, if you're planning on using it again, being careful with the materials that you use. Let me say that. But because I use this, it's actually this way. I got these from Hobby Lobby. I use a coupon, y'all. Balling on a budget. You know, we work on that, right? So for this I am using these for table centerpieces, and I'm going to touch them several times. So I just gave it a quick wipe down because I know I'll be touching it a few times. So again, you will need some type of styrofoam or foam, whatever this little disc thing is called. I'm going to use it to set it on top of mine here. Again, I will not glue this down because I am going to use it again, this again and again and again, right? So what I may do is just put some double-sided tape on it on one side of it, but the weight of my candle is going to, and I'll show that, the weight of my candle is going to keep it in place, and I'll raise the camera and show that. But for what I'm going to do now is, y'all, look, let me go ahead and say you may very well hear my cocoa in the background. So I did start one, and I'm going to see if I can get that in camera view so that you can see how we're going to work with some jute right now, and we're just going to wrap this around. Let me see if I can raise my camera just a little bit. All right, y'all, so I have decided to start at the bottom on this one and work my way around. And I'm not securing this in a way to where I'm going to tape it down, glue it down, or anything like that. Why? Because I don't want it to, it's not going to remain. I'm going to remove this, let's say it that way, right? So I tied it, looped it, and I'm going to see if I can get a little knot here. Keep in mind, I can always cut this. I can always cut this. So I'm tying it in a knot here. So now I have a starter. And again, I'm working my way up. The other one I started at the bottom, at the top. So this one, I'm just wrapping it around. And as you can see, it's giving me, you know, my place. I can always cut this area, the extra here, or hide that. So again, we're just wrapping it around. We're trying to give it like that rustic look. And again, I want to use this again. So if you are wrapping something that you really don't, I mean, this would be fine without any glue, Mod Podge spray, or whatever it is that you're using. It should be fine without it. But as you can see, we got our starting point, a knot, and we're just wrapping it around. You see my fingers kind of keeping me as a guide to help me keep it in place and to make sure that my rows from my knots are kind of like in order. So I'm kind of pulling it tight as I go so that it can kind of give me that desired look, right? We just, again, we want to cover this glass up, make it look a little fancy for a table decoration or whatever it is that you want to use it for. And if again, mine is not going to be permanent, so I'm just wrapping and using simple things to keep it in place. And I thought about the weight of the candle. It's like, okay, it's going to be stationary. It's not really going anywhere. And yeah, so here I am. I'm still kind of getting it, you know, tight. You want to keep it tight so that it doesn't kind of like move per se. But again, this is for decoration, y'all. And I always say having fun. And you know, you're going to always look at something, or me anyway, look at something and say, well, I could have did that. So again, I'm putting tension on it, kind of making it tight. I'm using this hand to kind of help me with my wrapping portion of it. So this is the easy part. My issue was with those little flowers, trying to make those look decent and, you know, fit. That was challenging sometimes. But y'all, crafting is about having fun, right? And making sure that you're able to have fun. And I kind of adjusted the camera so that you can see. So my head is kind of chopped off a little bit on this, but I'm gonna try to fix it and make it work, right? So, okay, so this is what we should look like thus far. Again, we're just tightening, and I do have a place. And you see, if you're off a little bit, you can always tighten that up. You can always fix that. Again, we're just covering up the glass and making it kind of look a little bit decent, giving us some kind of, yeah, we can always tighten that up. Always tighten it up. See that how I just moved it, and that's how we're tightening it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this wrapped, and the next thing I would do is go ahead and start applying my flowers. This is such an easy. I don't have my scissors over here, which I need. You think the wire cutters will work? I think so. So yeah, works well. So this is, yeah. So we're still wrapping and making sure that we don't have any gaps or overlapping strings or, you know, things like that to make it just look neat, right? So we're just at this point making it look neat. Okay, so we are at the very top for this, right? So now I need to cut it off, and I'm gonna give myself a little bit of extra. And why am I using wire cutters? Because I took my scissors off of, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna keep going. I got it at the very top, as you can see here. So, and then this extra piece here was actually a piece that was just, I guess they stuck it together, but it'll be okay. So this is our jute that's just wrapped. That was an easy. So I'm gonna take a little bit from this loop here, and I'm gonna stick this up in it so we can get like a knot or a stopping point for us that, you know, we're at the stopping point, it's not gonna come loose, right? So that's what I wanted for that. And again, this is not permanent for me. I'm going to take this loose. So I'm just gonna stick it back in there again, trying to get me a stopping point, a secure stopping point. And keep in mind, this will not be visible because the flowers is gonna cover up that. So I'm gonna stick that in there. Y'all using my nail, you use what you have, use what you got. So there we are. You see I have a little stopping point, a little point here, which I had one on the other one also, which is okay, right? So now my jupe is down. Coco is gonna start making sounds. Typical Coco, right? Okay, so I'm gonna cut a little bit of this extra off on the side over here, and we can tuck and play with it a little bit more. So as of now, this is what we have, right? Again, we're just covering it up. We covered it up, but it's going to be from the downside. Could I have made more? Which on that one, I think I did. But let's see. Let's see how I wrap this one. So it's fine. Yes. Okay. So it is secured, wrapped very tight. Now, let's see if we can. I'm gonna see if I can adjust this just a little bit. Okay. Okay, y'all. So now this is where the fun part comes in at. So if you're whatever flowers you're going to use. I ordered these from Amazon, and they have these little silky things on them. I love. I think they're foam. I love these. So I just took these, and I didn't know if it was gonna work, so I didn't cut them and put them the way that they should be, as they should be, right? So I would take this and just sit it up here for now, because again, mine is not going to be at a place, I've said that probably 10, 15 times. This is gonna add weight. The candle will add weight to it. So all I need right now is to decorate this side right here, because until I'm ready to use that, I could actually take this portion right here off. Again, if you wanna glue yours down, tape yours down, whatever it is that works best for you, do what works best for you, right? So, Now, what I need to do is let's see, let me get my scissors. Let's say, yeah. Okay, so this is my good handy dandy double-sided tape. So I'm gonna just take a little piece of that and see if it's gonna stick, if it's gonna help it stay in place. Again, double-sided tape is very, very handy, very, very helpful, right? And that was in the center, so I don't know if that's gonna stay, which is not, so I probably need it on the edges. Lesson learned. Yep. I need it on the edge, not the center. So again, we added the double-sided tape, and I can't move that, only because I wanted to see if it was, one, if it's gonna work, and two, if it's gonna work, right? We're just having fun, y'all, making some centerpieces, trying to be creative. And I always say use what you have. I had bought these a long time ago, and I was gonna put some candles in them when my daughter was working on candles, but we never, so I said, you know what, I can find something to use them for. Again, that's our double-sided tape, right? So I'm gonna put it on the edge just to see if it's gonna kind of help us stay in place, and it does, see? We're good. And again, the tape, the candle is gonna add weight to it, so that's a great thing, right? So now we have our jute already added. We have our foam that we're going to use, right? Now the fun part, y'all, is just being creative with this. You're just going to stick, and if you don't want to cut it all the way down, you just stick it in there, and you could always move it around. But it's just having fun with this, because I just love this, right? And the reason why I don't cut these off all the way is because sometimes I reuse them. And like if I'm using a flower arrangement or something like that, I kind of need a longer stem. So I'm kind of careful at how I cut my stems off. And y'all see Coco, there she is. Okay, so I'm just making sure that it's kind of stuck in that place. Stuck in there, but as you see, that is a very simple fix, right? And if you have enough flowers to be creative, to do a pattern, and that's what I did on mine. Again, there's no right or wrong way. Let's say, look, this is the actual stem. I kind of cut off enough to where I would put it on if I was doing a flower arrangement, and I kind of bend it so I can always have this extra when I need it, right? So let's see. Stick it in the foam, bend it down just a little bit. There we are. Stick it in the foam. So we're gonna repeat that process. Again, this is my extra. I'm gonna save a little piece off of that because I may need it later. Let me say the may. So I bent it just a little bit. And I'm gonna stick it in place. And that's pretty much it. We're kind of like going around just sticking it in place, right? And you're going to always be able to work with, tweak it just a little bit. You'll always be able to do that. Let me say that once you finish it and once you get it stationary as to where you want to leave it. But it took me a long time to work with flowers. I just never thought that I would be working with flowers. Let me say that. Just not my gift. I love crafting, but not with flowers. Again, I just use it to bend it into place. And don't be so overly concerned about how the top portion of it is going to look, because once we put some greenery to that, again, that's going to kind of stick it into place. And then again, there's so many different ways, and I think I may have to stand up for that. But there's so many different ways that you can go in and decorate this. Again, it's a simple glass that came from Michael's, and I said that, I can use that for multi-use, having our ladies gathering or whatever it is that you want to use it for. You can do so many different things with this. So we're just sticking the flowers in that foam. And again, we use double-sided tape for the foam. We use some jute, which is here, and the glass. Scissors, and yeah, simple flowers. This is a very, very, very simple project, y'all. And it could be it depends on the type of flowers that you use. Let me say that, because sometimes, using the flowers can be a little pricey, just depending on what you use. These I did get, again, from Amazon. I like because they have that little silky, shiny, shimmery type look, and it just works well with the colors that I was using. But you see, it kind of just falls into place. I love it. Let me see. So yeah, so we're just putting this together, having us some fun, having fun doing it. And let's see, I need a gold color. So this is how those flowers come, again, from Amazon. I love it. It does come with some greenery, and didn't have a lot of greenery, let me say that. But I will be, I will probably buy some more, and the green I will probably put, yeah, somewhere in between. I may take some out and add some in to cover up. That's what I did. I had to think about it. I did add some green to it, right? So I'm gonna go back to the other one that I made, just pieced together. So I put the green towards the bottom. So we may go back and take a few out just to add some green to it, right? And this is, again, the fun part. We're just sticking them in. Sticking them in, having us a fun time. There we are. So that's what we're looking like so far. Just simple, right? Very, very simple. So I think I had it backwards just a little bit, but we'll fix it because I did realize that I did add some green to it and I didn't on this one, but we'll fix that. So again, to leave myself a little bit of space, I bend and bend again because I want to use these $20 flowers again. $20 flowers again. Okay. And I like how it just slides in the phone, slides in, right? Again, once I get all of those in, I'll go back and do the tweaking, as I would say, like the tweaking. So I'm going to show you how, okay, this one, this is the green that comes with it, right? With the flowers. So I'm going to just go ahead and stick this down in the hole. And because I kind of got like a little gap right here, I'm definitely would want to put some greenery on that. So you would just put them together like so. Love, love, and love it. Okay, so I'm going to bend it again, and I'm going to stick it in here. So I want that green. If I turn it sideways, let me see. If I turn it sideways, it kind of helps with the one beside it. So that's always helpful. Keep that in mind. If you're using greenery, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying my best to, needed to sit down today to do this. But if you put the green on and you put it beside, you can kind of like make one work for two if you're just moving it around just a little bit. Let me say that. One could definitely work for two. So you could leave it as this one row, let me say that, or I'm gonna go back and add some more green. You can use it as a one row and just put your candle on top here, but because I had a little bit more foam here, I decided that I was gonna go in and try to add some more flowers to it because I needed to cover that up. Now, the creative part to this is you could use rocks, something light, something that will kind of, whatever greenery that you have, something that you have to try to, you know, cover that up. I have it, yeah, the easy part, putting this down in the hole, right? Okay, there we are. So what we're doing is kind of like sharing the green with the rest of them. because again, they don't give a whole lot of those. So you kind of got to make do with what you have. See what I mean here? So we're just trying to figure out a way. And from this point, I may stand up for this. All right, y'all. So I think I was recording without even having the thing on. I'm not sure as to what happened. So what I did was I went in and I just filled in some of the spaces that I could see, you know, visibly see. And I added greenery to some of them. Again, you want to cover up as much of the foam portion as you can. It's something, sometimes you have to just tweak it and play around with it. Again, we did not glue anything down. I am trying to do better with making more videos, y'all, because I make a lot of different things. So let me go ahead and say, if you could please like, share, subscribe, y'all. I say it so often, we learn and we grow together. But yeah, so what I did was I went in, put some greenery in, trying to cover up those places. These are foam flowers, so it kind of gives me a little bit of thickness, which I really like. But from this point, you just play around with it just a little bit more. So it looks like I need something right here, and I do. So I think I put the gold in the, so I may just do an ivory champagne color right there because, and because I have green, a lot of green already here, I'm just gonna try to put the flower down just to fill in the gap. Let me show you. So there's a gap here, so I need to go in and fill that. Again, I put the candle up there so that it could, you know, help me, give me a guide as to where I need to put flowers and where I, you know, how I need to cover things up. Let's say that, right? So again, y'all, I hope y'all have had fun with me. Again, I never thought I would be working with flowers. Let me say that. Never, ever, ever. My mom is good with that. I am not. So I'm using some of the greenery again to cover up some gaps, cover up some holes, cover up some places. Again, you have to twerk it, tweak it, work it around, do a little bit more to it. But y'all, I'm so excited. It's coming together. Again, it's going to be a centerpiece for a table. And I am going to add another flower there. It looks like I have another spot. It's going to be a centerpiece for, or not really a centerpiece. I'm going to put it on like a cocktail table. I have two of them, so I had to make two of them. And I am excited. All right, so I'm probably going to tighten this row up down here just a little bit. But as you can see, we're coming together fairly well. This is kind of, yeah, this is very simple. So we started out with a glass, right? We had a candle. That candle is going to keep us in place. I used double-sided tape. I used the foam. We went and covered it with jute. I may put something on the inside of this, not quite sure yet. But again, this is a very different and creative table centerpiece or cocktail table centerpiece. And y'all, we did it together. Listen, I'm super excited. It looks like I can put a flower right here. That green is pretty, but I think we need some flower. I want a little bit more green to start. So, and what's important, y'all, is to go back and just play around with it just a little bit more. You could always find, you know, places that's a little, you need to go back and fix type thing. And especially me, let me say that, I'm gonna always find something I can go back in and fix. That's just me. Yeah. So we did it. So this is, again, our very inexpensive, no, I can't say inexpensive. The flowers were very creative, let's say very creative look. And again, the flowers were what really cost so much. I think the boxes of flowers actually cost more than the glass. But this is our finished look of just creating us a table display for, you know, whatever. Keep in mind, we have two. I have two. Now I can go back and put this one together. So we have one which is here. Now I'm gonna do the exact same thing for this one. I have to take all of this out. Totally different candle, but it kind of works for the video purposes. But y'all see how this is something that could very well be moved. Again, I use double-sided tape for that reason. So I'm gonna take all of those off and take all of my flowers. Well, I can leave the bottom row in. I'm gonna come back and put our double-sided tape down. So, do you see how easy it was for me to just take that apart? And that's what I love about it. So I'm gonna wipe that top part off again. We already have our jute down. Everything is in position. All I need to do now is put our double-sided tape down. And I will clean these off a million times before I use them, because you know, you're touching and touching and touching. And yeah, so double-sided tape. And keeping in mind, it goes on the edges. Let's say that if you're using double-sided tape, it will definitely need to go on the edges. Why? Because that center has a dip in it. Okay, so this was our, I think I used the green up, right? I don't know which way I had it. Either way, we'll fix it. So it was like this. I can tell how how I have them sticking in. Okay, so I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna move it over just to show you really quick where I'm adding my double-sided tape, which is here on the corner here and here on the corner here. I'm adding tape again because we need it to stay in place. So again, y'all, this working with flowers is not as hard as I made it out to be, because I didn't do it for a long time because I was like, I cannot put flowers together and make them look good anyway. Let me say that. But yeah, we're just making us a centerpiece. Y'all know what the hardest thing for me with this double-sided tape is? Getting that other piece. Even with my, I use the pick from, which I don't have it with me. I use the picking tool when I'm from the Silhouette or the Cricut, because it's always helpful. But yeah, so if you'll just work with me for a minute while I try to get this tape started off. What's going to be challenging is, okay, that greenery that's already on there. Okay, we are having some technical difficulties with this tape on this side for some reason. Now we worked fine on the other side, no problem. We're getting there. We are getting there. Y'all see my cocoa is over there out. We got it, thank you. We got it. Now let's try to start with the other one. She is out. I think it's because of that rain. Kind of got it just drained. She is spoiled. I call her my therapy dog. She helps me out a lot. Let me say that. She helps me a lot. Okay, we're gonna get our starting point. And many will probably say, it's because it's the styrofoam. No, I have this trouble with regular paper when I'm making my journals, because I make journals also. So I think we got us a starting point. There we are. We got it. We got it. We got it. Okay. So I'm going to put this in my, you know, in my center point, but I don't want my green to be at that. I'm gonna have to stand up for this one. See how easy it was to just put that tape down and to move it. And y'all do know I got some green somewhere. Yep. Okay. So there we are. We are in position now. In position now. So we've already got a good start for this one. Again, this is the one that I started originally, but I didn't know, I had an idea, but wasn't really sure on how we were going to make that happen. So those are already in position, so I'm going to just leave those alone. Will they be the exact same? Probably not, but will it work? It will. So I'm just kind of covering up, taking that greenery and kind of covering up some places up at here. Now I'm going to go ahead and start working on my second row, and by this time I'm going to add my candle or whatever it is, if you're going to put something on top. And that's another thing, let's say that, right? So you don't have to use the candle on top. You can finish filling it up with flowers. That would be beautiful. I am adding the candle again because it adds weight to my foam, and it kind of helps me keep it in place. So that's the only reason why I did that. Now you could very well be creative, y'all. Add all flowers if you like, whatever works best for you. Let me say that, whatever works best for you. So I'm going to now just go in and fill in some spaces. Again, if I don't, you can be creative and just add some greenery. You can put all flowers. You can not use, you can do whatever works, whatever you like. Whatever you like, right? Yeah. Why do I feel, I did. I was like, why do I feel like I have two of those together? I did. Okay. One thing I can say, I do like that because that wire thing, it kind of really, it works. I mean, you can twist it, I don't know how many ways, and make it work for you. Let's say that, yeah. And you want to cluster it up again so that you don't see, again, the foam area, the foam portion of it. So you see the foam here. I'm going to add some, I'm just trying to cluster it together so that it can just give us a nice, elegant look. I feel like I have a lot of ivory in this, gold in that area. So I'm going to add this ivory more. Or it's called champagne. I keep saying ivory because I'm looking at this candle. And yeah, we're just clustering, making it look a little bit, yeah. And keep in mind, I did not go back and adjust that bottom row probably as I should. And I may tweak it just a little bit more again yeah. So it's coming together, y'all. I'm so excited, super, super excited. Okay, so again, we are working with some foam flowers and some what is that stuff called? Styrofoam. And that's pretty much it. And the whatever device whatever you're gonna put it on. I was gonna say device, but yeah. So we're just trying to fluff it up and put, add what we can add to it. And I may play around with it just a little bit more and get it, yes. and get it, yes. So now see how we're just filling in places that people probably won't see. They will not see. And I think what helps me, I noticed this, that putting the green on the bottom kind of helps the bottom and the top, if that makes sense, right? Putting the green on the bottom helps the top and the bottom. So that's helpful. Just a helpful tip, let's say that, right? I am loving this. Just, yeah. See how we're just clustering it up, covering it in, filling in the gaps, making it look somewhat decent. And yeah, we got a couple more places, which is here. And I was concerned that, y'all, I was going to run out of flowers, and I thank goodness that I didn't, because I was making some. I'm learning how to make the eternal roses is what my next project, or what my project was, and I think I'm doing fairly well, but I don't think they would have worked. There we are. I don't think they would have worked for this. And here is another one that I tried, and I was like, I really like that, but again, I don't think it would have worked for this one. So if you're interested in learning how to do the eternal roses, we can learn it together, because it is a learning experience. Let me say that. I've seen so many different ways of doing them, and one of the things about crafting, y'all, we can watch something and it's like that doesn't work, so we got to go keep finding what works best for us. We all learn different. We are all different. Yes, we are all different. We all learn different. Let's say that, right? So one more gold, and I think we got this, and I am going to add some more green to this. And I think we got it. So I hope I hadn't bothered you too much with my talking, because I love to talk. Let's say that. I do. But let's see if we can kind of like get this in place. Yeah, there we are. I'm so excited. So these are really, really cute. I love, love, love how they turn out. I didn't know if they were going, you know, how they were going to work, but it came, yes. Again, this is a centerpiece. And of course, I'll go back in and cut these edges off here. Again, nothing that I've done is in stone and cannot be removed, because I will be taking this apart as soon as I get finished with our event. So here we are with two. I'll send some pictures at the end, y'all, but I am super, super excited. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for spending time with me today, as we just put together something very, very simple using a glass, wine glass is what I like to say, some jute, and we used the foam piece, double-sided tape, a candle for weight. You don't have to use a candle, but we used some flowers, and yeah, we just came up with something really, 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 really cute. Let me see. Yes, really, really cute. So again, y'all, I am Dee Dee here at the Fillin Station. Thank you so much again for joining me today. I hope you've had fun talking and learning, and watching this simple project come together. Let's say that, right? So again, if you could please like, share, and subscribe, y'all. I say it so often, we learn and we grow together. So until next time, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.